Hello, it is currently snow day number 3 for me, but that's not when you're watching this, so I'm still going to say happy snow day anyway. Today's notes, we are going to be writing equations from tables. We're going to be able to, at the end of this unit, we're going to be able to write equations from graphs, we're going to be able to write equations from situations or word problems like we already talked about, and now I'm going to show you how to do this from a table. So to start off, tables, in case you forget, it's not a table like you eat at for food. A table in math looks like this. A table shows the change between our x's and our y's, our independent and our dependent variables. So like I said, tables show the change between independent, which are your x's, and your dependent, those are your y variables. We can use a table to write an equation that shows the relationship between the variables. An equation is basically a rule that says all of the data, all of my numbers follow this equation. They follow this rule. So looking at this first problem, it says Katie eats 2 more cookies than her friend Jamie. So the independent variable, that's always going to be our x, and our dependent variable is always going to be our y. Our independent variable is going to control the dependent variable. So in this situation, what controls the other one? It says Katie eats 2 more cookies than her friend Jamie. So does Katie's eating control Jamie, or does Jamie's eating control Katie? Jamie controls Katie. So in this situation, that means that Jamie, she controls Katie, so she would be my independent variable. And Katie would be my dependent variable. If you have questions about independent and dependent variables, let us know because we have other resources that we can use to help you with that. But think about it kind of like science class. You've done the same thing in science. Your independent variable and your dependent variable when you make your graphs, when you talk about things controlling other things. So now we want to go on, how do we do this? How do we make an equation from a table? So the first thing we want to do is we want to find the change between the x and the y. So on my x and my y, looking at my table, if I go from 1 to 3, how did I do that? How do I go from 1 to 3? I add 2, I plus 2. How do I go from 2 to 4? We add 2. How do I go from 3 to 5? We add 2. Is the pattern the same for all of our numbers on the table? Yes. The answer is yes. If the pattern is not the same for all, if we're adding different numbers, that means it would be non-proportional, and we'll talk more about that later. But for right now, we're adding 2 for all of them, so that means that's going to be our rule. That's going to be our rule. We want to write a relationship between x and y in an equation. So what was the same for all values? What happened over here? What did we notice? What did we see? Each time you add 2 to your x, you get y. Each time you add 2 to your x, you get y. So that means for my equation, it'd be y equals x plus 2, because we added 2 every single time to get those numbers. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that to finish up that page. But if you're ready, go ahead and turn it, and we'll go on to the next bit of this.